I used to think concentration was something you did, a task you performed. For 30 days, I tried to train my brain like a monk, and I discovered concentration is not something you do. It's somewhere you come from. It is the ground from which everything else grows. And for most of my life, my ground was cracked, dry, scattered with the debris of 1,000 unfinished thoughts. Let me tell you about the 30 days that changed that. This journey didn't start in a monastery. It started in my own distraction, that familiar feeling, my body in one place, my mind in 6 others, planning a future conversation while making coffee, rehearsing an email while a friend was talking. My attention was a guest in my own life, never staying for long. So I made a vow. For 30 days, I would structure my life around one principle I learned from monastic wisdom: single-pointed awareness. Not just during meditation, but while eating, while walking, while listening, while working. I would stop trying to multitask my being. The first lesson was immediate, and it was humbling. I sat down on the first morning, determined to focus on my breath, just the breath, in and out. Within seconds, it was gone. I was planning my lunch. I was remembering a mistake from last week. I was composing this very script in my head. I felt a surge of frustration. I can't even control my own mind for 10 seconds. But then I remembered the words of a monk I'd read. He said, "The moment you notice your mind has wandered is not a moment of failure. It is the moment of the practice. That noticing, that gentle returning, that is the rep. The exercise isn't in holding the focus, it's in the return." So I returned, and I wandered, and I returned. It was like training a puppy. You don't get angry at the puppy for being a puppy. You lead it back, patiently, 100 times. That first week, my mind was that puppy, in a squirrel park. The real transformation began when I stepped off the cushion and into my day. Monastic life teaches that everything is the practice. So I tried to make the mundane sacred. I would wash this one cup, and my only job in the universe was to feel the warmth of the water, to see the glide of the soap, to hear the soft clink against the sink. When my mind said, "Hurry up, what's next?" I'd guide it back to the water, the warmth. I ate one meal in silence, just focusing on the taste. And do you know what happened? A simple blueberry became a universe of texture, soft skin, a burst of tang, a gentle sweetness. I wasn't just eating faster to get to the next thing. I was there. And in being there, I discovered a richness I'd been rushing past my whole life. Halfway through the month, I went for a walk with the intention of just walking, feeling my feet on the earth, seeing the colors. Usually my walks were for podcasts, for phone calls, for processing thoughts. This was just to walk. And for 20 minutes, it was a battle. My mind was a raging river of to-do lists, memories, anxieties. I kept anchoring myself back to the feeling of my soles on the ground. Left, right, left, right. And then something broke. Not externally, internally. The river of thought didn't dry up, but I stepped out of it. I stood on the bank, and for maybe 3 minutes, I was just walking. I saw the gradation of green in the leaves. I felt the cool air move in and out of my lungs, in rhythm with my steps. I heard a bird call, not as background noise, but as a precise, beautiful sound. A profound sense of peace washed over me. It wasn't exciting. It was deeply, utterly enough. And I realized this is what we're seeking when we scroll and search and consume, this feeling of enoughness. And it's right here. It's in the return to the senses. This is the core insight. Mindful concentration isn't a cage for your wild mind. It's a container for your life. A monk doesn't focus to achieve more. He focuses to experience more, to live completely. When you pour your scattered attention into one thing, that thing becomes vivid, alive, workable. That difficult work problem? When you give it the container of your full focus, solutions arise from the silence between thoughts. That difficult conversation? When you listen with your whole being, you hear what's beneath the words. My old way was like using a flashlight with a dying battery, flickering it over a dark room. The new practice was like charging the battery fully and shining a steady beam on one thing at a time. And eventually, you realize you've seen the whole room with greater clarity by illuminating each part completely. So how does this ancient practice live in our modern world? It starts with ruthless intention. With work, I began doing single tasking blocks. For 1 hour, this document is my universe. My phone is in another room. All other tabs are closed. When the mind wanders to an email, I jot a word on a notepad, my worry list, and return. The work gets done faster and with less strain because I'm not fighting a civil war in my head. With technology, I stopped letting my devices dictate my attention. I turned off almost all notifications. I check messages at appointed times, not when they ping me. The notification is not a command. It is a suggestion, which I address from a place of choice, not reaction. With people, this was the most beautiful change. I practice listening with my whole body, not just waiting for my turn to speak. My mind wants to analyze, advise, deflect. I gently return it to their face, their eyes, the tone of their voice. And people feel it. They feel seen, and connection deepens in that space. You do not need to go to a monastery. Your life, exactly as it is your training ground. Your breath is always with you. The feel of your feet on the floor is always with you. So I invite you for the next 24 hours to try one thing. Create one moment of full participation. Just one. When you drink your next cup of tea or coffee, just drink it. Feel the heat of the cup. Smell the aroma. Taste it fully. When your mind pulls you away, smile and come back to the taste. That is it. That is the profound practice. In that return, you are building the muscle of a calm, concentrated mind. You are not fixing a broken brain. You are remembering an innate capacity. You are coming home to your own presence. For 30 days, I tried to train my brain like a monk. And I learned I wasn't training it to be something new. I was letting it remember how to be still, clear, and wholly alive. Where you place your attention, that is where you live. So choose your ground wisely. Make it solid. Make it present. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I am deeply grateful for your attention.